What's up, data? So let's do a complete multi-time frame analysis of British pound, US dollar, and Aussie dollar. Let's see what kind of trading opportunity we have currently in both of these dollar pair. They are showing a significant trading opportunity in this lower time frame. Now, before we discuss how we can trade both of this instrument, let's do a complete multi-time frame analysis. Then we'll jump onto this time frame to see how we can trade both of them. Now we will be starting with, first of all, British pound, US dollar. First of all, we'll look at the bigger picture, monthly, weekly, to see a clear direction in the market. Then we'll jump onto the lower time frame to see how we can trade. Monthly perspective, British pound, US dollar, without any question, it is in a strong downtrend. Now if you look at the overall market structure, you can see that every month British pound, US dollar was creating a series of lower high and lower low, which is a typical downtrending market structure, bigger picture. Now if we narrow down to the recent time frame, that means that this month's candle, which is closing just tomorrow, so which is almost nearing this candle close, what we can see that this candle is a very strongly bearish candle. You can see that previous months there is a doji, and then this current month there is important clue is that it has crossed the previous month's doji's high and then retreat back, meaning that it has a huge momentum for going down as it grabbed a lot of liquidity from the previous month's high. So that means that we could expect this one even come down before closing. So with that in mind, British pound, US dollar, currently we have a strong bearish move on the monthly perspective. Now looking at the weekly, this is where we can see that the price basically showing a very strong bearish move. This is the weekly candle after the previous. There is a bearish engulfer on the weekly 2 weeks earlier, followed by this middleman. That middleman has a long wick at the top, little bit at the bottom. So that is basically tested this reversal pattern here, this previous support here, tested as a resistance, and then we have seen this previous week's doji. Now this week, what we see, as soon as market open with a gap, so this is the clue that we need to look for, that the gap opening. So the gap opening basically giving us a very strong resistance for this price to, for the buyers to push the price high. As a result, we could potentially see that GBPUSD coming down further on the weekly perspective as well. Now looking at the daily, there is one more confluence on the daily. Now you can see the previous day, this daily candle has crossed the high, crossed the low. It's a perfect middleman that we trade every day with a red body in the middle. This today we have seen significant retracement, which is expected. Now looks like that GBPUSD is preparing for another drop. Now if we look at the intraday time frame 4 hour, we see that British pound, US dollar basically creating a textbook Bearish engulfer, which has crossed the high. This high has been crossed, and at the same time, it has crossed the low so far. Still 1 hour 15 minutes to go, but looks like that it is melting to the downside. Now, if we look at the pattern perspective, GBPUSD on the 4 hour created a nice looking head and shoulder. You can see that this is a head and shoulder, and also in that head and shoulder we have seen there is a bearish engulfer previous day as well, followed by another bearish candle, followed by healthy retracement. Now it is creating another bearish engulfer, meaning that GBPUSD preparing for a really big move to the downside. And that is what we are doing currently. We are waiting for a potential shorting opportunity on GBPUSD to the downside with our students with a high risk to reward ratio to take this move. Now let's look at another dollar pair, Aussie dollar. Now Aussie dollar, as you have seen in my previous analysis yesterday as well, from here, this is what exactly I mentioned, that Aussie dollar is likely to drop from here. This is the 4 hour time frame. As you can see, it has created a double top breakdown, tested this zone. Now at this point, this is the 4 hour time frame, how we can trade this one here as well. So before we discuss it, let's see a bigger picture on this one as well to see the general direction in the market. Now Aussie dollar, we see that this is also a long-term bearish market. This is the monthly candlestick pattern. If you look at overall picture, every month the price was creating a series of lower high in this downtrend. Now followed by, we see on the weekly perspective, there was a big bearish engulfer on the weekly, this red one. This is a liquidity grab, followed by a attempt from the buyers, but that's a long wick candle. So that means that whenever the price is reaching this zone, the sellers selling this market on the weekly perspective, and every week the price was creating a series of lower high. So as expected, this week also the price reached some part of this zone and created a lower high. So that means that Aussie dollar now preparing for a melting again to the downside. Now if you look at the daily perspective, we see that there is a same thing like British pound US dollar. There is a strong bearish candle with a long wick at the top, strong bearish engulfer followed by doji. There is another bearish engulfer, big bearish engulfer today. As expected, the price reached this important level where we have seen significant retracement to the upside. Now if you look at the 4 hour time frame, now where we see that Aussie dollar as well, like British pound US dollar, creating a nice looking bearish price section, tested this 20 period moving average on the 4 hour time frame, and also completed a head and shoulder in this zone, preparing for a breakdown. Okay, so this is what now currently our eyes is for this current candle to give us a nice looking bearish price action. As soon as it will satisfy all the rules of our strategies, we'll consider shorting Aussie dollar as well from this zone with a high risk to reward ratio with our students. Now, if you find value in this analysis, then smash the like button, and also don't forget to drop a comment below to help this idea. Thank you for watching. See you soon in my next analysis.